Greetings, golf enthusiasts, and welcome back to another edition of the Fantasy Golf Sommelier. I know you missed me. Yep, I know you did. I took the week off, took a little hiatus. Sometimes the sommelier's got to recharge before a major championship. And this week we have the 121st United States Open Championship at Torrey Pines Golf Club, the South Course. And it should be a fantastic test for these guys, as it always is. We get tight fairways, we get a whole lot of rough. And this week, we get those bouncy Poana greens that everybody likes to complain about. I love it. I think it is going to be fantastic, and I'm looking forward to a great week. Now, you might be wondering what I am drinking. Well, you know what? I am planning on getting a whole lot of dough this week, or winning a whole lot of dough, I should say. So, I got this stuff called dough. It's just dough. Okay, it's from the north side of California. I'm gonna pour a small glass this evening. We don't need to go crazy. Don't need to go crazy on this. We'll let it continue to breathe though, in case I want to go crazy and get a little more. But let's get a little taste here. It's a Cabernet, by the way. Yeah, that is bold. That's bold. Mm, delicious, delicious. Anyway, before I get into the plays of the week, let's talk about what we're going to focus on this evening. And that is something near and dear to my heart. I used to do a segment called Weatherwise until DB decided that I shouldn't do it anymore. Okay. Knowing that the climate is near and dear to my heart. It's science. There's a lot of science involved with climate, and it's interesting to me. It's actually a little bit interesting. But you know what? The main reason I bring up climate is we're in California this week, and sometimes you kind of wonder, why are California wines so much better than wines in other parts of the country? Maybe Texas or South Carolina or whatever, the middle of the country. Why is wine in California so much better? Well, the climate is probably the number one reason that it is so much better than wines, not only in this country, but all over the world. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. But first, let's get into the price like a Sutter home, plays like a Camus play of the week. And that is going to be Kevin Streelman at $7,100 on DraftKings. I'm going to give him 91 points. And here's why. Usually, I actually don't like to take Streelman. I try to find any reason not to take him. As a matter of fact, especially on a long golf course like we're going to have this week. Well, what happened just a few weeks ago at the PGA Championship at Kiowa Island, a long golf course? He finished top 10. Kevin Streelman is basically like golf course proof. It doesn't matter. Everybody thinks of him as a short knocker, which he is. But you know what? He can still play good no matter what the course is. Short, long, whatever. I mean, you look at his stats. He's top 20 in the field in strokes gained approach. He's top 20 in fairways gained, which is driving accuracy. He's top 20 in the field in ball striking. Love all three of those stats. And he's top 30 in the field in bogey avoidance. Guess what? You can't have a whole lot of bogeys in the US Open, or at least if you do have them, you got to limit them. And he does that. They always say, par is your friend at the US Open. Well, guess what? Kevin Streelman can do that. And you know what? He's traditionally putted very well on Poana greens. As a matter of fact, that is his best surface. And we're even actually getting him low owned. Kind of surprised. I thought he'd be a little bit higher owned this week, but he's less than 10% as far as the projections are concerned right now. So you get a Kevin Streelman that's coming in good form, checking all the boxes, a little bit lower ownership than I might have thought. I think he's definitely worth a play down here at 7,100. So Kevin Streelman, 91 points. He will be the price like a Sutter home, plays like a Camus play of the week. Let's get into some climate talk. How about that? Okay, I'm very excited. So why is California's climate good for wine? Well, you get less rain in California. You pretty much have like a 6 months rainy season. Easy for me to say, where they call it their winter, I guess. Let me get some wine. Wow, that's so good. I haven't had wine in a while, and that really tastes good. When it hits the lips, it's good. So yeah, you get a longer period of sort of a warmer, drier climate, and that really leads to the grapes reaching their utmost potential. Okay, imagine that. A long dry period helps lead you to your utmost potential, or leads grapes. Totally unlike humans. We have a long dry period. I don't think we're gonna be reaching our utmost potential. I really don't. If you know what I'm talking about. I think we're gonna be grumpy and we're gonna wither away. Okay. And that's, grapes are the opposite. They like long dry periods. Okay. Kind of interesting. Another thing about the climate is in California, especially like Napa and those regions, is the proximity to water. Okay. Proximity. DB doesn't like the proximity stat. I kind of do in certain situations, and I especially like the proximity stat when it comes to good wines. Okay. When you are in close proximity to water, especially water like coming off the Pacific Ocean and San Francisco Bay, where it's cooler water leading to that kind of cooler wind that also can produce some fog, which has some some moisture in the air and things like that in the fog, and that helps the grapes. It keeps them moist, and it helps prevent them from drying out, especially in the warmer months. That's perfect for good grapes and winemaking. Okay, all right, let's move on to the Boone's Farm play of the week. Tony Finau. I know what you're thinking. You think this is a terrible pick. Well, I really don't care. Okay. I am done with Finau in majors and whatever else. Just not spending the money on him. And I'm just gonna see what happens. Okay. I could be wrong. Could be wrong. But I'm gonna see what happens when I fade Finau. Okay. You can come back. You can comment below. Maybe do that. Comment below and tell me why I'm a real idiot for fading Finau. Or tell me why you like it. I don't know. Either way, I don't care. I just said that. I'm still fading Finau. He's looking to be in the top 5 or 6 as far as highest projected owned players this week in tournaments. And I don't want to do that. I think you can pivot off of Finau. You look at his driving accuracy. He is 129th in the field in driving accuracy. That is not good on a course like this, where if you miss these fairways, you are in some deep stuff. Okay. This Kikuya ain't playing around. All right. And these guys aren't even used to Kikuya. All right. So I just don't like it. I don't like Finau there. He's lost strokes putting in 4 of his last 5 events. It's just not a whole lot of things to get excited about with Tony Finau. I don't like it at 8,900. I'm giving him 79 points. Okay. 79 points. The Boone's Farm vintage fade of the week is Tony Finau. Great guy, but I'm still fading him. Okay. Let's talk more about the weather and the climate. Okay. One thing about Napa, I mentioned Napa, is they have a Mediterranean climate. Okay. Now, that's not talking about, olive oil or olives and things, or whatever you might think of Mediterranean. No, it's actually referring to a longer growing season, which is similar to the Mediterranean areas of southern France or Spain. Those areas have those longer growing periods, which is good for grapes. And actually, only 2% of the entire world has Mediterranean climate, including Napa Valley. Okay, so it's great for the grapes. Longer season helps them get to their best, their fullest potential. Okay. Anyway, hopefully a lot of these players I'm talking about, not the fade, but the other ones, reach their fullest potential this week. Okay, before we get to my last climate thing that I need to talk about, let's talk about the last play of the week, and that is the Pop the Cork play of the week. Daniel Berger. I understand why more people aren't talking about Daniel Berger. I really don't. I mean, this is a guy who has been really good for the better part of almost 2 years now. It's not like the form's gone away. He's top 25 in the field in ball striking off the tee. He putts well on Poana greens traditionally. His form is good. I mentioned that. He has a good U.S. Open history. I mean, I just don't understand why we're not talking more about Burger. And I like the ownership on him. He's looking at to be around 10%, maybe even less. So you get a Burger, good form, check some boxes. I love it. I love it this week in your tournament lineups. I think he gives you a lot of upside. And you know what? I'm going to give him 95 points. That's pretty high. Mm, so good. So good. Gonna win that dough. Dough. By the way, Doe's slogan here is rise to the occasion. Rise to the occasion. Well, we're gonna rise to the occasion this week, I think, with our plays and we're gonna win a lot of dough. All right, here's the last thing about the climate that you need to know, and I think this is pretty obvious. But there are a lot of mountains and hills in the wine growing regions of California, and those are good for many reasons. One, cooler temperatures up on the mountains and the hills and things like that. But also, you get a unique terrain with mountains, okay, which is it adds to really good soil quality for growing grapes. You get a volcanic soil. You get kind of a clay in there, and really what that does is it even hydrates. Like there's stuff under the ground, which you think ground is dry, but actually there's things in the ground, volcanic soil, clay. They actually hold water and help hydrate the grapes and it helps with the ripening of these grapes. So that can be great as well for wines of California. So you know, next time you're drinking a California wine, think about the ground, the soil that grape came out of. Think about the climate. Think about the hills, the mountains, the bodies of water, um, the Mediterranean climate feel to it. The longer periods of warm, dry weather. All of that goes into that little bottle of California wine that you're drinking and makes it so good. So there you go. That is all I got this week. I will be back next week. I hope everybody has green screens for the United States Open. I cannot wait. Okay,